when the dogs moved in, you know, like we just had no way of controlling them because we bordered by pine forests and gum tree country. We did all the things that we thought, you know, we sat in the paddock at all hours in the morning and went out with the guns and spotlighted, and of course we had very limited success. Like, it wasn't so much the fact that they killed the ewe, but that ewe would have been good for me for, you know, at least 6 years. So we mostly keep them through to their 6 years, and then before we sell, well, that ewe, like they said, oh, you're only losing the price of that ewe, but you're not. You're using the progeny that she produced you over that time, let alone a fleece. You know, so we put up the dog fence, and it was the best investment we had. The dog fence we got here, we have the 900 size slopers, and well, it was a lot easier for us older blokes. Instead of bending down, putting a shorter sloper in. As you can see, they come off the fence roughly at a 45 degrees angle. It was mainly to stop the kangaroos, because the dogs, by sensing the power, and I was told originally by Anthony Fitzgerald that the dogs are the easiest thing to control. Very sceptical about that when he told me, but he's totally right. The dog, he can sense power on that fence before he gets near it. He won't go near it. I went back to sleeping right through, not sort of waking up 3 o'clock wondering how I was going to, what I could do to, you know, try and save me sheep.
It's a double offset pigtail, I call them. Steel rod with the inch of the pigtail on each end. So we've got one on the outside and one on the inside. It's probably not as good, but it was a quick, easy way to retrofit the fence that we already had. Having it on both sides, well, it deterred the animals going, if they hopped over, they still didn't want to go back out by going underneath. It is a benefit to have an offset on the inside and at the bottom. Sometimes I'll put it up near the top to keep our cattle back off the fence, so they appreciate the fence a bit more and look after it.
When the dogs were really bad here, it was about 5 years, they were extremely, they were the most pressing economic issue, but particularly when we had sheep, that we had, above all else. This design here was just an original standard fence, non-dog fence, and we've modified it to become a dog fence. The additional exclusion fencing, that you can see the 3 wires, we added those in the last 6 months, I think it was. As you can see here, we border on the bush, and the bush out through that back fence is millions of acres of bush, and with all the usual feral animals and wild native animals were beating us. We were share farming it with them, and they were actually trashing the paddock. So you can look from the road here down across this paddock and into the paddock beyond it, which is not exclusion fenced. You can see any time of the year you can see a difference. That's grazed out. We haven't had cattle in there for a month or two, 3 months maybe even. Something's eating it. It's not our cattle.